Well, welcome back to Crowley House Flower Farm. Today is kind of an exciting day because we are starting on another project. I know you guys are gonna laugh, but this project is actually one that we've been working on for a while, but haven't really talked about too much here on the channel. But this is our family farm, family property that Jason and I are restoring, and also restoring the gardens. So today's the first day that we are actually going to be working on the gardens. I got Braden out here a little bit today to help me kind of lay out the plan. I've had the plan in my head for a little bit, but this is just a tentative plan to kind of make less grass and more gardens. When we were kids growing up here, there was 12 of us. We needed a huge lawn, and now we don't need that anymore. So we want to do less grass, less maintenance as far as the grass goes. Obviously gardens take a lot, but we're ready to get going on this garden because this is going to be kind of the focal as you drive up to the home here. And so we want to get going on it so that we can plant some trees. It's the only reason. This time of year, fall, is the perfect time to be planting trees. And so that's why we're kind of just digging in, taking a break from some of the other projects we have going. Anyways, yeah, so I thought I would just kind of show you what our plan is today. And I am going to start on it a little bit, so I'll take you along and show you that. So what I had some soil delivered because I want to create a little bit of a mound. There used to be a really tall, some sort of pine tree here when I was a kid. So I'm trying to restore these gardens back to what they were kind of, sort of, at least the shapes and things. But this here, my dad really wanted a magnolia. So I'm going to be planting a magnolia tree here, and I'm gonna be creating this garden a little bit wider. My other plan is I'm gonna put a walk path that goes from the porch all the way down to the secondary drive, and then also move some of the shrubberies that are along the small little patio garden. I'm gonna be moving them as well. That's gonna take a lot of muscle. But today my goal is to get some tilling done on the areas that I've marked out, and to potentially get the magnolia in and all the rock moved. So that's a big job in itself. We're just going to start small. We have some rain coming in later this week, so I'd like to get some grass seed down if possible. Yeah, I just have to pull some muscles out and get it done.
All right, well, Beth made really quick work of tilling out the dirt here. We raked the loose grass off of there, and now we are going to take this mound of dirt and spread it out and make it all nice and pretty so we can start planting on it. That's the idea. We'll put some rock border on here, and yeah, should be good to go.
So it's been kind of nice just taking a little bit of a break from Crowley House. We've been working really hard on the farm and nursery over there. And then also we've been at night, and any spare moment we have, working on the inside of this house that needs just a little updating, a little zhuzhing up, and some construction. So we were starting downstairs in the basement, and we're working our way upstairs. But anyways, this has been just kind of a nice, I don't know, just doing something that is more for yourself, not necessarily for a business, and is just gardening in itself, just getting outside before the winter sets in and the cold. So it's been kind of fun. Jay and I are just kind of tackling this job. We have a vision for this yard, as you kind of heard. I don't know how much of it's gonna set in stone, but it's, you know, at least I have somewhat of a plan and going forward. So yeah, this is the start of it. We've got a magnolia, like I said, we're gonna plant here, and then place some big landscape rock, and we're gonna kind of hold there until we get a few more plantings, probably some more annuals going in soon, but I don't know exactly. So if you have any ideas, pop them below. We'd love to hear from you. Well, I'm back at it again this morning. This project is actually going really, really well. I'm very inspired. It's been a while since I've actually done a garden, and then trying to create this new space has been kind of fun. So anyways, what Jason and I did last night is we ran down to the little hardware store. We needed to get something else. And my plan originally was just to plant the Magnolia back here, because we've had that for a while. I've potted it up. I mean, it was a little tiny tree, and then I potted it up, and now it's pretty big, which is kind of cool. But they had everything 50% off at the hardware store, and things looked, I mean, some of the things didn't look so great, but others looked fantastic. So I picked up a few things to pop in this little garden just to kind of give us a little color inspiration or color through the winter, because you can see this from the kitchen windows, the dining room, and I just wanted it to be kind of a focal point. And so we just grabbed a few things. Some things, like Jason said, it can be moved. He's coming around to that theory, because he used to get really upset at me for just saying, oh, I didn't really like this here, I'm gonna move it. And so he'd be like, oh my gosh, do you have to move everything? And I'm like, that's just kind of how gardens are. So this is what we have done. I'm going to show you kind of the plantings. I'm going to plant them, set them out, and then show you that, and play with it a little bit, I'm sure. And then we will get to planting today, because I have a load of things to do the rest of the day on the flower farm. So I'm trying to get this finished early this morning, and then be able to go to my real job. So, okay, here we go. This is going to be fun. So I wanted to show you kind of a before and kind of after vision of everything that I'm doing. So what I wanted, at one of our houses that we built years ago when the kids were little, I did this like stacked wall where I did a lot of rock, and I did like a two-tone, because it was like kind of came down a little bit. And so that's what I'm trying to recreate here. Is we just got we're doing all of this for the most part just with things that we have around the farm, or this farm. So there's a lot of rock here. And so I used a little bit here just to kind of give it 2 layers. And my idea here is to put a little bit of some different ground covers and things like that through here. And then, we'll be putting some perennials in here just as a really nice, I think, so as people drive in, because there's a driveway here, and the driveway kind of comes from here, and then as they drive in, this is what they see first. And so that's kind of what I want, just to have a really nice welcome color splash. And then it's going to repeat over there, and then again over there. And then the house is here. You can see the kitchen window, dining room, or actually the dining room's there. That's all the kitchen. Oh, there's so much work to be done. But anyways, okay, so on to this little guy here. So I have the Magnolia, which this one here is. So we have an evergreen Magnolia, which is really pretty. A lot of times they have on the back side as they age kind of a dark bronzy look to them, so they're really, really popular. But my dad and I picked this up after my mom passed, so I just wanted to be a little focal point here in the garden. So it's going to look really pretty. So then here is just a new planting bed. So what I picked up for this, and it was kind of fun because Jason helped me. There wasn't too much selection, but we have some beautiful heucheras here. The variety on this one is marmalade, which is kind of fun. I love that. And I love the color because this will carry you through fall, and it kind of has that blushy kind of undertone of, I don't know, like a burgundy undertone, which is kind of nice for the holidays. And then we picked up some grass. This was Jason's choice, and this was super cheap. I think we got these for $1.25 or something like that. And it's called Ponytail's Feather Grass. Stripitonusium. I'm not sure if that's correct, but that's what it is. It's an ornamental grass. And this one gets slender, bright green leaves topped with tan flowers, swaying easily in the breeze, bright texture and motion in your garden. Stunning, along with, like, it talks about coneflower and all the kind of things you can plant with it. Grows 18 to 24 inches tall. Space it at 18 to 24. So pretty small, really nice. I'm going to do that towards the edge. And then this is one of my favorite things to grow. We have some on the other farm. Pieris Flaming Silver. We got 3 of these Flaming Silvers. And again, you can imagine that's got, on the photo here, it's, it gets off the new shoots are kind of that same kind of blushy, corally burgundy color, so that's gonna look really nice together, I think. And then I got this as well, Euphorbia, Apricot Rainbow. Really, really nice. Again, it's got that variegated foliage, a little bit of yellow. And partly, if you look at the house, which the house color is going to change eventually, but you've got a little bit of yellows and greens up there. So that's kind of fun. They had some rudbeckias here, which is just the Black-Eyed Susan, which is really fun. They were literally like $2 each. So I had to grab those because that would be really good fall interest and a little bit of yellow popping through. So anyways, that's what I'm starting with. Oh, and then I have I just ended up getting some Blue Star Creeper, which is really fun for that front patch. And then I got Woolly Thyme as well. So both of those are really fun. So those are going to be up front, kind of by the rocks cascading over. I'll work on that area more, but let's get started. I have everything laid out kind of where I want it. And like I said, things can be moved. Or like my husband said, things can be moved. Mark my words here. This will be proof I can come back to this video that he's like, nah. Okay, so yeah, in my head, you know, you have to envision the garden being full and big. So I've measured out everything to the sizes that they are. And I want to definitely have space between each thing because I want to be planting in some annuals throughout the summer and things like that. Just a really nice display here. I think that would be really fun. So yeah, I like this. And obviously there's room for work and it's just a starting point. Things will shuffle and change, but it's exciting for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and start planting up everything. I just get some starter fertilizer. They didn't have the kind that I like at the store we went to. So I'm using still an organic fertilizer, just like an all-purpose type fertilizer for them, and it'll be fine. Anyways, okay, so here we go, the fun part, planting. So one thing you have to be careful of when you're buying at the end of the season, even though you're getting those really good deals, you need to make sure the plant is really, really healthy. And I know that's a no-brainer. But one thing is don't be afraid or shy to just grab your pot. Jay and I did this, and just kind of see what the roots look like, whether or not they're root bound. And then if there are plants that can tolerate some root bound issues, go ahead and get them and then kind of separate them. You saw in that ponytail grass that I kind of had to pull the roots apart. That was the only thing that was root bound, but literally they were $1.25 each. So I figured it's a grass. They grow really, really well. You know, how hard can it be? So those are all the check things that I did in my head. But like this heuchera, absolutely stunning. And literally got this for a couple bucks. So yeah, that's worth it. Just do a little checking at the market, at the nursery, and you know, you can just really fill up some beds for hardly, I think this came to less than $100 for all these plantings. That's pretty good. So I wanted to show you a little bit of what root bound looks like. So here's one of the rudbeckias. You can see it kind of coiling in on itself. So I bought these anyways, even though seeing that. So I wanted to show you guys what to do if you run into this. Basically, you want to just kind of tease the roots apart. You can just take a serrated knife and just kind of cut and make an X in the bottom, and kind of have to be ruthless. There's always a chance that you might lose your plant when you do this, but This literally, I think, was a couple bucks. So it was worth the risk. So what happens, and this is one reason why I'm starting a nursery, is because big box stores, they only carry certain things. And also they're not starting all these plugs. These come from a nursery. And so sometimes a nursery will sell them something that is a little bit past its prime. It's been in its container for too long. And then you get issues like this, which obviously, even in my nursery, I'm gonna have issues, but I have a little more control over what I'm selling to the gardener so that they have success. So now what I've done is just kind of gone along and just kind of broken it up and just teased all the roots loose to try and get them to then spread out more and not keep going in a circle like that. So you can also take and kind of cut some of those, feather them out like that. Just kind of do a little surgery and hopefully this will bounce back. We're gonna take another look at this once it gets a little bit more established. Like I said, we're going into fall, so it might be next spring that we get to look at this, next summer kind of thing, and see how well they did. But yeah, that's kind of how you fix that problem if for some reason you got home and you're like, shoot, I didn't check this one. Or I didn't realize, because it looks really healthy on top. But that's kind of what you want to do. Guys, look at this one, Euphorbia apricot. I mean, it's just beautiful for pennies. Well, dollars, not pennies. But anyways, that is just gorgeous. Root system, beautiful plant. We're gonna be at a really healthy start with some great organic fertilizer and some soil that we brought in. So there is beautiful clay. Is it Jory? Jory soil, that's what they call it here. It's red, so it does kind of stain a little bit, but it's really fun to work in compared to down at the Crowley House. It's very much clay, and we have to bring in a ton of compost. Here, we are bringing in compost as well to kind of enrich the soil. And then this little spot that I'm working on, I wanted it to be kind of raised and mounded. As I work on this garden, you're gonna kind of see that, unlike Crowley House, this property does have a beautiful view, but there are neighbors. We're not used to that here. So my goal is to create this beautiful oasis. When we first moved in here, I think I was 13, this place was amazing. I mean, it needed work as far as the landscape goes, because the landscape was put in back, I think this house is 1951. So the landscape was put in then. So there's a lot of mature trees and things, but you felt like you were in just this beautiful setting, woodland setting. You didn't even know you had neighbors. Now some of the trees have fallen. We had a big ice storm a couple years ago. We've lost a few things, and it's just time to kind of create that privacy again. There'll be more to come on this property. We're not sure what we're gonna do with it yet. And so that'll be later. I don't even know. I don't even want to think about it, you guys. But right now I'm having fun just playing with the gardens, building them back up. And it's like I said, it's been this is the first time I've actually get to play with this garden in a whole year. Other than a little bit last spring because we've been working so hard at the Crowley House. So, okay, back to work I go. So I've dug a hole a little bit larger than this pot, wider and a little bit deeper, and then I refilled it with some, because we're kind of getting into the native soil here. So I wanted to add a little bit of the compost mix that we bought in, but this is the reason. This was half price, but look how nice that is, you guys. So worth looking at everything. I mean, this is just amazing annual that's gonna get huge and big and giving and comes back every year. So we're spending a little money or looking around at stuff. So I am just gonna fill this in, and you can see kind of how I made a nice trough. That's just gonna give this plant a really good start. Let those root systems kind of grow out and be absolutely beautiful in the yard. So I'm just gonna water everything in really well and then kind of sit back and watch it. I'm eventually gonna put a layer of mulch over the top of this just to kind of help with weed suppressant, but that's gonna come later because we have a few other gardens we're gonna get started here on the front yard. Super excited about how this is turning out. So I got Jason out here helping me dig the hole for the Magnolia, partly because I think we're gonna just take turns doing that and then also lifting it out of the pot and then into place. It's just nice to have two people so you don't hurt yourself. So anyways, we're digging away. This is the centerpiece, the jewel of the garden, and I'm super excited about it. So Jason came out and helped me plant the big tree. It went in well. We're thinking it straight. We're gonna check it again tonight. We do get some heavy winds here, so I'm wondering if we actually need to stake it so we don't get that rock. You know, it is fall and we can get some heavy storms, so we'll see. I think I probably will do a staking from side to side for at least a year until it gets established, but we'll do that later. Anyways, I think it turned out really, really well. The only thing I have to do now is water in, and then what I'd like to do is just place a few boulders just to kind of right in this section. I feel like it needs something. So I'm gonna go see what I can go find in the property to place. I'm thinking 3 kind of different sizes maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, we'll play with it here. Jay, I'm thinking about just, right next to this. Let me help you though. Placed.
Will that work?
Yes.
You like it like that? Does it need to be rotated at all?
I don't know. What do you think? Maybe that side down because that's so flat. I think that's the way it was set anyways. See what we think. Shyla, you're in the way. It's kind of hard to see. But what do you think? I think that's fine for now. We can play with it more later. So I think we could do some daffodils through here, and then.
Is there any of this tracked deer?
No.
Anything we can use deterrent?
No, I think some really nice lavender that's kind of low. I did seed some up, so maybe we can pop that in the spring, because that would be kind of pretty.
Sure.
I don't know. We'll see. This is a good base. Like 2 more grasses over here, Jay.
Right.
Taller, maybe airy. They had some at Dancing Oaks that I bought and then they died, and then I need to get new ones. Okay. Well, that's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed that little gardening, that fall gardening that we have going on here at the other farm. Some more to come on that later. But until next time, much success in all you do and grow. We'll be seeing you shortly back here at, not Crowley House, the other farm. Okay, bye-bye, guys.